What is L9? This question is one that many have asked, but few know the real answer to. Some think it was simply a group of high elo friends, others think it is merely just a catchphrase that people use after they grief games. Few know the truth. It is more than a word. It is a story of friendship, betrayal, growth, and decay. This is the story of L9. Our journey begins in Season 5. At the time, anyone who wanted to buy boosts or scripts would either do so through a website or order them privately through mediums such as Skype. Since these Skype groups would amass many high-elo players, communities started to form within the league scene. Even though the initial purpose of these circles was business-related, as time went on, constant interactions between the same people led to the formation of friendships. The Skype groups became more than just a place to advertise, and became a sort of high elo fraternity. It was during these Skype days that the core members of L9, RadIRL, Obsess, Apocalypse, and Selfmade all came to know and become friends with one another. For the most part, the talk remained league-related, flexing high win rate accounts, trying to snipe pro players on stream, and putting players on int lists was a daily occurrence. As time went on, edgy memes and dark humor started to become more prevalent within these groups. It went from occasionally posting racist memes to finding the IP addresses of players they didn't like and DDoSing them. Doxing was also occasionally done, and if you antagonized the wrong person, your full name and address would end up on a website. This trend continued throughout the rest of Season 5 and the beginning part of Season 6, up until the introduction of clubs to the league client. For the first time, players had more than just their friends list as a way to interact with others. RadIRL and Obsess saw this as a way to create a club whose sole purpose would be to troll other players. Since it was so rarely done, sniping famous streamers or professional players and griefing was an easy pathway to becoming well known and gaining followers on apps like Twitter. After trying for hours to find a club tag that could be used for their group, Obsess took inspiration from then famous streamer and pro player Hail9 and decided to take the name L9. And thus, L9 was born. Around this same time, Discord was also starting to become a much more popular app, and so RadIRL decided to make a server that the members and friends of L9 could be a part of. Since everyone that was a part of the Discord server was originally a part of the Skype group, the community retained the general atmosphere of edginess and toxicity. Joining the server wasn't very hard to do either. If you were friends with one of the members, or played well in one of their solo queue games, it was very likely that you would receive an invite. With new people joining the server on a daily basis, members within the clique felt compelled to push their offensiveness to extremes in order to not only stand out from the rest, but also show everyone else that they belonged within the group. Everything that could be said would be said. Racism, homophobia, misogyny, and bigotry were only the tip of the iceberg. DDoSing was very common since everyone's IPs were mass harvested through Skype, and games being entirely erased due to job hacking was becoming a problem that not even Riot could handle. As if hitting off other people's internet wasn't enough, if an L9 member really disliked someone due to a poor solo queue experience, it wouldn't be uncommon that their full names and addresses would end up either in the Discord general chat or some obscure website. While all of this is already illegal, it's nothing compared to what came later. After a few months of constantly posting offensive memes, what was once considered shock content was now just mundane. Posting inappropriate content and making dark humor jokes was done so often that it held no real weight anymore. In an effort to push things even further, certain users within the server started finding and posting videos and images that could land them jail time if it would ever to be leaked. The kinds of things that one would normally only ever be able to find on LiveLeak or the deep web start to show up more and more within the original L9 Discord server. Videos showcasing violence and gore started cropping up, but things really started to head downhill after illicit imagery of minors started to be distributed among the server's users. Once RadIRL noticed how bad things were starting to get, He completely deleted the Discord server. He realized that he could no longer control the monster he created, and in an effort to stop things from getting worse, he removed the medium that connected all these ill-minded psychopaths with one another. Upon deletion of the server, another player named A Wild Daddy, a high elo EUS Draven OTP, decided to take the opportunity to create another server that could take the place of the now deleted L9 one. His incentive? Harvesting all the notoriety that came with being its founder. This became the unofficial L9 server. Everyone that was a part of the original one created by Rat ended up joining this one, and most of the friendships among high-elo players, as well as famous streamers, that still exist to this day can be traced back to it. Although the original server was deleted in the hopes of putting an end to the downward spiral that the community seemed to be going down, once Ivan's server, as it was called at the time, started gaining members, they picked up right where they left off. Hateful conduct continued to be at the fore, and with more people to view everything that was being said, people continued to push the limits of lawfulness in the hopes of attracting attention from everyone else. Criminal pictures and videos were shared nonchalantly, and what most would consider abhorrent, L9 members viewed as normal. With how far things were taken, it was only a matter of time until screenshots would start to get leaked that would have serious implications for everyone involved. That is, until everything changed. One video altered the course of history in a way that none thought possible. Infamous League players Rat IRL. Once League Recap started making videos showcasing the achievements, skills, and attitudes of these L9 members, it wasn't long before everyone knew who they were. The toxicity that could be observed from them was at a level that was never seen before. With permanent bans being considered a badge of honor, these psychopathic League players were on a different level than everyone else, and the community was eating it up. With this overnight rise to fame, the original L9 members were confronted with two paths they could take. They could either continue down this toxic path of self-destruction and venture further and further down the rabbit hole of insanity, or they could take this fame as a way out, reform, and appeal to a wider audience and make something of themselves within the realm of content creation and professional play. For Rat IRL, Obsess, and Selfmade, this is where the story of L9 ends. Rat went on to create a new Discord server with a reformed image for a fresh start, and to this day that server is still in use. He continued to pursue full-time streaming, and is now one of the biggest League of Legends streamers on Twitch. For Obsess and Selfmade, LEC careers were right around the corner. Obsess became an academy player, and Selfmade became a full-on LEC starting jungler for teams such as Fnatic, SK, and Vitality. For Apocalypse, however, the story of L9 was only beginning. He viewed the others as fake for not continuing with the image they had set for themselves, and as a result, he decided to make his own Discord server. He invited people from Ivan's, who wanted to continue along this dark path with him, and things quickly took a turn for the worse. Illegal imagery and videos were being posted so frequently that Discord manually sent a notice to the server telling them that if things weren't toned down, it would be taken down entirely. However, things didn't stop. Several people within the community were very good hackers, and finding people's information was very easy to do. Doxing and DDoSing was still prevalent, but the main form of entertainment was found in hacking random people's household technology. On an almost nightly basis, several people would be found in a voice chat hacking baby monitors and speaking to children. One can only imagine the things that were said or encouraged. These sessions would usually end when the parents would hear the voices and walk into the room to shut it off. It became so bad that there was a segment done on Dr. Phil to talk about a man's experience with his smart home getting hacked. The man even claimed that the L9 members that hacked his device tried raising the temperature of the house to harm his baby. This kept escalating to the point where, upon hacking one of the systems and encouraging a young child to do certain things, the child ended up following the orders and died as a result. One would think that after causing the death of a toddler, Apocalypse's server would be ridden with guilt, but it only seemed to fuel them. They continued to not only hack systems, but also started swatting people and diving further and further into madness. Eventually, things were taken too far, and Discord ended up deleting the Apple's server. After that, everyone scattered. Some communities would crop up here and there and try to revive the old days, but none were successful. The term L9 became nothing more than a remnant of the past. Some may hope that one day L9 can make a resurgence, while others wish that they had never banded together in the first place. One thing is for certain, however: their impact on the solo queue environment and League of Legends as a whole left a mark that will still be felt for years to come. Thank you all for watching, and if you want to see more videos like this, be sure to like, subscribe, and hit that bell.